I don't know. I don't know how I get the impression that this is the first year, and I think they want to get it passed with the formula, and I would think you would revise it as you go, but to say 10 years, they're saying, okay, 10 years out, or in our case, 6 years out, we're taking X dollars from you, or we're not going to give you X dollars that you were used to receiving. It implies, by looking at it, that there'll be no extra money.
Right, that there'll be no,
there'll be no
increase in 1 year or 3
and no COLAs, it doesn't look that way.
Similar to the high cost line, if you follow the cost, they give you the total for what their estimates are of state aid. Part of my concern is right now we're basing state aid on 10-year-old data. By the end of this process, it appears you'll be in the same boat.
Because, right, you look on the very bottom, Carol, on that page you're looking at, it says percent change, 1.1, 1.4, 1.2, 1.2.9, minus 0.2, 0, 0, minus 0.1, minus 0.6. They have a proposed distribution total of 5% change. But that's of the total number.
And it's over 10 years.
Yeah, and it's over a 10-year window, so it's...
So 0.5% a year.
Yeah, which is, revenue neutral, I guess. How's that for a primary state funding thing?
Question for Doug. We are currently operating this year, 09-10, with two budgets. One for our operating budget, which is funded by the local and by general state aid, and that's $24.9 million. We have is it the consolidated resource plan still? Which is a separate budget, and it has separate expenses in that plan. If we were going to combine those this year, our total budget would be $25.6 million.
I think it would be a little bit higher than that. If you were,
Well, if you took just the state number, Len.
you're close, but we have the federal programs as well.
Right, for state monies, you'd be at 26. You'd be at that number, 26.2.
Yeah.
But then you have the federal component.
Yeah, the federal's going to be offline.
Right, that's offline, so you're correct.
Yeah,
That will be the only CRP.
Right, that
offline.
will eventually be the only CRP we file
Right.
if this passes.
If you were trying to look at this year through the prism of next year's setup, then you're absolutely correct.
Well, I'm trying to look at next year. I wanted to get to this year because I think this year the explanation's fairly simple. The next year's budget that we've given to the budget committee does not include anything that's in the CRP, any expenses.
That's right.
Do we need to redo that so that that makes that clear for everyone?
Right now, based on speculative legislation, I'm not sure. I mean, we're prepared to do it. We know what those expenses are, and we certainly can amend it. But I mean,
I would recommend we wait a little while longer until we get more information, and then have some degree of certainty before we submit them. I don't disagree, we should do that, but at what point, I think that's something, a discussion.
I don't want to do the work twice.
Right, and we also want to make it, we want to be as accurate again.
But if I remember that this year's school committee with the budget committee, we were going like that. Where's expenses? Where's
actually, it makes more sense now what Mr. Karen was saying about the state, how the state aid is going to be accounted for. Because if you remember, the back and forth was, Jeff's number was way higher than what we were working off of. All right, and again...
unfortunately, it was last year. So.
Right, but now, again, while you're taking what was restricted and now adding it, again, I got to keep repeating, it's not new money. I mean, it's not like found money, we found it, under a rock somewhere. It's monies that we currently use. The only additional help is the ARA money that we didn't know about. That would be additional to help offset our total cost for next year.
This year, 293, did we get it?
Yeah, we got that.
Not the 293.
The town received that fund now on our behalf. Is that your question?
So it'll come to us eventually.
Right, well, that's part of our 24.9.
Okay, and there's 300,000 approximately.
363.
363 in the new proposal from the state.
Last year, if you go back a year ago, it came in two parts, those funds, and we thought it was one-time only monies. you know, a split. So now we're finding out, well, it's coming again.
Actually, just to further elaborate, they actually had combined those two on one proposal, so they had 700, close to 700,000 for Tiverton, and then they decided to split it. So then the state ride. But I think your question pertains to next year. We don't know what that number is if they're using federal stabilization dollars to fund some of the state aid yet. They haven't provided that to
But
us.
Len's point is it's going to change our submission.
Generally not. They will just short the
No,
state.
but we have to explain to people
Right.
that that's going to be part of the aid number, you know, as soon as we can try to get a confirmation.
But when we don't get it, the state.
No, the state will-
and reduces
Right, the
our
state would
state
give us
money.
right.
If the ERA money comes through, the state wins essentially.
That's how it's worked for 2009, 2010, correct.
Well, I think we are going to be back at it when more information is available.
That's good news. It's complicated, but
Not the second and third year out, it's not good news.
we're living year to year right now.
Get ready to find more money somewhere.
We could live in Barrington, in year 4, you get an extra $3 million.
200, well, Barrington has had the advantage of having more students.
They had quite a few more, but
Their real estate market is a mecca for parents who have kids. And they, as the older people move out, people with kids who want that school system move in. As opposed to Newport, their population is decreasing.
and if there's any irony, Central Falls is $10 million.
I don't think so.
Well, because it does
State
fund the schools, well.
The state has another pocket to run it somewhere.
At least in this pocket, it was $10 million. And that's all run by the state.
Yes.
Same with Davies, the Career Center, Davies is.
So,
How that that's clear.
Yeah, now that that's clear, we'll move on to quantum physics. Mr. Gundy, would you like to take that?
because reports and announcements, correct?
Okay, reports and announcements, nothing from me. All right. Again, at our next meeting, I'm going to put on the agenda just what we talked about at our BEP review meeting on March 1st. It was very informative what Mr. Abbott talked to us about, and really how he really was insightful on how to kind of look at it in certain parts and what it means to us. As I said earlier, we have our second mediation session scheduled for this Thursday at 7 o'clock. And also, Council 94 has sent a letter to the chairman stating the following. Dear Chairman Burgundy, I'd like to inform you that your letter of February 18, 2010, requesting to reopen the collective bargaining agreement was brought forward to Local 2670 on March 3rd, 2010. Due to these extraordinary times, Local 2670 voted to reopen their contract. As you might imagine, we do have some reservations regarding this procedure. Therefore, we respectfully request at your earliest convenience a meeting between the school board and representatives of Local 2670. Please accept this request as assurance that Local 2670 acknowledges the difficulties which may lay ahead and is willing to cooperate in a just and fair manner. Signed, Dorothy Camara, President, Local 2670.
It's an incredible gesture because you didn't have to do it, and it's, you know, ask for more good citizenship. And that's, thank you very much. And you obviously will meet with representatives of Council 94. And Mr. Wright, maybe you can just schedule a meeting because
Yes.
everything we'll be talking about this in executive session.